Hello, Sam. Hello, Codex. How are you doing? Welcome. Luna says hello as well. There in the background.
Does she?
I think she does. So we're here to celebrate. I already did the celebration stream, but a day and a half to go until the introduction offer expires.
No. That's it.
That's it.
That is correct.
So tonight we're going to do a Scotch themed arena.
Yeah.
Alex and I will be commentating on your games. Linux already asked in the Discord, do you have to make the moves yourselves? No, I didn't realize. E4, E5, knight f3, knight c6 and d4. That's the position you will be starting from the white side, from the black side.
And then when they take your pawn on d4, you gotta take back, because otherwise it's like the Scotch Gambit or something.
Oh yeah. I don't think I could.
Doesn't matter.
I don't think I had a choice.
If
don't play the Scotch.
If they don't take the pawn, we manually remove them from the tournament. Do we have that option? Does that feature exist? Just pretend the feature exists, okay? We'll remove you. In fact, we have a team of mods that have been employed specifically
Sam
to
has
hunt
been
people.
Employed especially. Actually, I think I wouldn't be surprised if the truth shows up. He did like the post in the Discord. He probably has that power. I probably have the power as well, but I just don't know how to.
Also, if you lose a game with if you win a game with the Scotch, that means you're playing it too well. So there wouldn't be so much incentive to. So if somebody, but winning every once in a while is okay. But if somebody is winning all their games with the Scotch, you also get eliminated. So
I also added in the title, the winner will get a diamond membership to add a bit of incentive. I already plugged the course, but for those of you who are not sure or just want to get an idea of the course, the last time I streamed from Corsica, the short and sweet was not out yet. It came out 5 days ago. So that's a free course that you can get and you can take a look at. See if you like the variations, recommend it. It's basically just a quick. I'm not even logged in here, so I can't. Maybe I
also keep in mind, guys, that there was a review that said that the lines themselves are not that the explanations are clear, but that there's a little bit of a lack of theory. One thing just to note is authors don't select. They don't have the option to select which lines get covered in the short and sweet. That's down to Chessable. So if you see if you work your way through the short and sweet and you kind of have the same feeling as JH19 who reviewed it and who said, maybe it's a concern that the lines here, if that's a reflection of the actual course, maybe they're a little bit lopsided, the selection of lines, but that's only specific to the short and sweet. So don't let that deter you, let's say, or give you a false impression of what the course is like. In the course, a lot of attention to detail has been paid to what are the most popular lines and sort of what are the most challenging lines. So the combination of what is the most theoretically challenging and what is the most popular, they're the ones that have gotten the most attention.
Maybe I should log in just so we can hopefully maybe show a few things. Let's see. Hello, John, by the way. John, one of the people I know, has purchased the course and has started working his way through it.
I think that there's a guy called, if you look at the leaders, there's a leader called John C. I wonder if that's him. It may not be, of course, but I noticed that his name is John Chandler. My memory is completely
Where do I see
If you scroll down and leaders there. So John C.
John!
Maybe.
Is that you, John? Not me.
Well, that's your mistake. You should have just taken credit. I mean, what is the likelihood that John C77 is watching the stream,
Let's see, where is John at? Can we find him?
Straight up say,
Mikey, good to see you. I hope you've purchased the course already. Can I see everyone? How do I do that? More.
That's it, I guess. 135, isn't it?
Yeah, but I want to see them all. Oh, there we go.
What are you trying to achieve here?
To show the whole list.
Maybe press more. And more again. No, that is it.
Okay, can I not? But that's where. Oh,
They
maybe.
don't let you see the
No,
whole
they
list,
do.
no?
I think. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
John, we're gonna hunt you down.
Come on, don't do that. Don't put him on the
I'm
spot.
standing here in a respectable 43rd.
Not bad, not bad.
Am I seeing correctly? I'm one of the last ones.
To be fair, you're 133 of 135, Fiona. You know, I mean that means you're more dedicated than two others.
Hello, Joyo Moyen. Is that a fellow Luxembourger?
That's a bit harsh from Mike.
60.
2 tins of beans and a loaf of bread.
There is John in 60 seconds. And can we find Sam? Sam has also purchased the course, but I don't know what his username would be. What do you think? Would it be Burn and Saint?
I like how you're out to expose everybody's username on Chessable, their progress at the course. I mean, this was not part of the script.
No, it wasn't. Truth, I did announce your impending arrival. Good to see you. You might be 150 for 35. No, now I'm stuck. You've done 0.00. Yeah, let me show you the viewers. The buyers. Yeah. Okay, let's go back. What else can we tell you about the course? When does the arena start? How much time do we have to burn? We have to burn 9 more minutes. Maybe if somebody has any questions about the course, no, don't ask us about specific variations.
I mean, we could just show the actual structure of the course, maybe.
Yeah, I'll let you do that.
I think maybe it was already... No. Okay, so...
The Reacher.
As you click browse, basically the course is called Starting Out. I think there's been another course with the Starting Out series by Ben Feingold recently, I think on like 1D4. And sort of the original conversation that we had with Chessable was, let's come up with like a beginner's Scotch course. The problem was that when we sort of got to work, we realized the variations, they're not like, if you're strictly a beginner, and you get this course, it's a bit too much. So it was more like a club player, more intermediate level strength, but we wanted to kind of keep it as friendly as possible for beginners. So this Starting Out concept sort of came to fruition. And the idea is that if you've never played the Scotch before, this is a good course to sort of make it accessible as possible. But on the other hand, if you've been playing the Scotch for a while, or you're of a pretty broad level, this course should still be quite suitable. I think that this course...
I learned something.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this course, even, Fiona is...
I learned a lot.
My
Scotch theory was a bit, dated. And I'm very happy. As I mentioned in the introduction to the course, Alex has done a bulk of the research. And I'm very happy, with the mix of, I think there's some more aggressive, more tactical lines in the classical. Hopefully we'll see some of those lines in the arena, which will start shortly. And then there is the more positional approach against the Schmidt. So against the Schmidt, maybe one thing worth noting, we don't recommend the line with e5. Because I think the theory there is just very developed these days. These lines get played at the highest level. I think a lot of the lines are very sharp, but also black is actually okay in a lot of the lines, so we felt it wasn't necessarily suitable for club level players, for people who might be playing the Scotch for the first time.
But I mean, we basically sort of decided we'll always try to fight for as big of an advantage as possible, and if that requires somewhat more positional play, then so be it. But if sometimes it requires very, very sharp play, then also that is fine with us. So an example, for instance, might be kind of a good example. Let's say in the Schmidt, in the main line, you get these kind of positions here with, let's say, maybe something like this, where we're playing this knight takes c6, b takes c6, and e5, the so-called Mises variation, is very popular, but honestly we couldn't find anything that was particularly good for white. So in that case we go for more positional play. But even though we're stuck in this, not stuck really, I mean, if you're a positional chess player, then it's not a problem. But let's say even if we've agreed to play this kind of more positional setup here, historically one of the very popular things that white does is they go for the bishop out to g5 here, and they go for this exchange when black ends up capturing with the pawn and the pawn structure is ruined. But the chances for white to win against the black player who knows what they're doing is not super high. So here, even though we're playing a positional line, we go for this h3 idea and queen f3 and bishop f4. And this setup doesn't get that structure, but it keeps more pieces on the board, and it leads to, I think, some really interesting kind of play. So for instance, here after b3, rook b4, our bishop is being hit. We defend the bishop, and we get this kind of a position here where after queen d6 we go c4, and what we're looking to do is step our rooks. What? Thank you.
A tier 2 sub.
Thank you, Ulan.
Ulan, you're spoiling the man.
I appreciate that, Ulan.
That means you'll have to make use of it.
Both the subscription and the troll are appreciated.
I saw also Ola Gages. The truth was asking, is the course better than the stake you had, Alex?
No comment. So that was a good stake, though. That was a damn good stake. So yeah, so we put like the rooks here, and we put some pressure against these two pawns. So white has been scoring very, very well. That's one thing we do throughout the course. We pay attention to how the variations are scoring. We try to kind of find variations that are problematic for black. But this is a pretty positional approach. But if you're thinking, okay, that might be the flavor of the course, we can sort of disprove that very quickly. Let's say with, for instance, the Milaniuk variation with 7g6, where things get pretty crazy. Let's see, for instance, this variation here. As an example, here white is going, black is going for the so-called Milaniuk with this check. We block, bishop goes out, and we go knight f5. And so it all kind of starts pretty positional, and some variations to the Milaniuk are very positional because when white steps the pawn onto c4, that's the so-called Maroczy bind. White is trying to grab space and say to black, we're going to squeeze you with that position, with that. Oh, is that Lawrence
That
Cooper?
is Lars. Thank you.
Hey, Lawrence.
Good to see you, Lars. Thank you so much for the sub. Who is Milaniuk? It's a Vladimir Milaniuk, a Ukrainian grandmaster who actually just died a few years ago.
I think so, yeah. And so he popularized this particular variation, but this, for instance, is one of the more crazy lines of the course. Basically, black plays knight f6, targets the pawn, we defend it. And in the Milaniuk, you can see, because we've been forced to push the pawn to c3, we don't have knight out to c3 just yet. And now black is looking to maybe sacrifice a pawn with d5 because our knight is weak, our king is still in the center of the board, so we shut all of that down. But the line gets crazy when black plays d5 anyway. Now we win a pawn, and here we see black's idea. They want to take here, sacrifice a full piece, and give us this check. And we really have no choice but to grab the bull by the horns. But the nice thing about the Scotch is, in our experience, when black goes crazy, like in this variation, usually white ends up with a really good position, as long as we know what we're doing. So we go king d2, we go bishop d3, and we go queen b3. We talk a lot about why those are the most precise moves. And in the end, we get this kind of a position here where, for instance, after knight a3, we're up a piece. And this is a good example of the kind of fun tactics that can go our way. Here, it's kind of tempting for black to take this bishop, thinking we'll play queen takes d3, and at least they can grab another pawn here on b2. But we have a beautiful move in knight to c2. And the point is, if now black takes, we're not going to just capture their knight, which would take us to the same position as if we first captured the knight. But instead, we have just a winning move on the spot, knight c4. We hit their queen, and at the same time, we're hitting this rook here on e8. And so we win immediately. So there are some very, very positional lines, but there's a lot of sharp lines. You can maybe judge it better than I can, but I feel like overall the course is pretty aggressive and dynamic and tactical.
I agree. I mean, that's my brand of chess, so I really enjoyed, I think, most lines. I think really the Schmidt is the one where things get a bit more positional. And by the way, the arena is starting in 30 seconds. If you haven't joined yet and you would like to do so, the link is in the chat right now. Good to see you, I has Carrot. And if you would like to check out the course, the link we just came from, that is it. So the arena is about to start. Remember, diamond membership for the winner. And well, we're going to comment on this. We'll see how it goes. We'll see, you know, what kind of scotches will we see. I think the tournament has started, and maybe we start with the top seed. Wow. MMX Mole, 22 plus player.
So it's a classical variation, and White has not gone for our recommended move, which is
That's a ban already.
Knight B3, the Potter. So this is a ban. Hopefully chess.com allows us to ban while in the middle of a game. I'd appreciate that. But here we do see an idea that actually occurs multiple times in the course. Not exactly here, but very often Black in the Scotch, they go for a fast development of their queen, and we often are trying to take advantage by targeting this pawn. Now, I don't really like what White has done here exactly, in the sense that the queen does have this beautiful outpost here on e5 from where it can defend, and that's because White has ended up with these doubled pawns. So it's okay when they don't play the variations we recommend, as long as they lose. Is that?
There's a lot of, I mean, there's, for 13 players, there's a lot of prerequisites. Like,
yeah.
We might end up with no players
Tournament
very
might
soon.
be a short one, yeah.
Frank, thank you so much. That's a nice and chessy number, 64 months. That's such a long time. Thank you so much. Chefmaster is asking, did the Scotch help Alex get to that beefy 3K?
On Lichess?
Yeah.
Funnily enough, it did. I played a bunch of games on, a bunch of bullet games on Lichess, playing the Scotch and playing the exact repertoire. And to be honest, I had very good results with it because there's a lot of really cool, tricky lines. Yeah. You know, maybe at some point I can show another tricky line that I remember playing in a bullet game, and that was that's like catches out a lot of players.
I think that's my experience as well, and it's also the feedback that I've been seeing from some people who play the Scotch, not just who bought our course, but I think when as Black you play e5 on move 1 and then knight c6, I think there are three main openings really: the Ruy Lopez, the Italian, and the Scotch. And I feel that a lot of black players are more familiar with what to do against the Ruy Lopez and against the Italian. And for example, I'm an e5 player myself, and I don't really like. I love playing the Scotch as White. I don't like so much facing it as Black because there are a lot of tricky lines. So I think that's one of the nice things behind playing the Scotch is that your opponents very often just won't be as familiar. You want to see what's happening elsewhere? What kind of lines we saw?
Let's check it out. Let's see here. But sorry, you can go ahead and continue.
No, so I think that's one nice thing. And the other nice thing is I feel the Scotch is a lot more, I don't know if compact is not the right word, but there's less theory because there is only really two major branches, one on move 3 and one on move 4.
We're down a piece here as White on this one. You guys are doing us dirty, you know.
Where did that happen?
Black is just playing fantastic chess so far against the Scotch. But one thing again, you know, no Potter variation, you know, and that's so far we're seeing 2 no Potters and 2 Black wins, you know. So no, but this is of course this is dangerous here. The pawn on f2 was under fire, and Black now was able to build up a center. But I think here maybe White missed a nice opportunity. Actually, we see this kind of a check often in the course here, check on b5. And I think that this would have been very strong because Black, whatever they do, let's say they go bishop d7, we're just taking their king, can't castle, and we win this pawn. But if they go c6, I think we have a strong idea here. Fiona. Show us
Knight
some
takes
fireworks.
d5.
Yes, I think that this is working quite nicely because the point is, if black takes, not only can we win their queen, we can do better.
Knight c7
Yeah,
followed by queen d8. That's very nice, actually.
Is a very nice tactic.
Yeah.
And if, on the other hand, they play knight takes, the point is we have queen takes d5 and our queen is immune. And if they take here, we're spoiled for choice. We can either grab the rook, or maybe we want to capture the bishop, because that would stop them from castling, or you know, we can maybe even consider giving this check. So lots of different options. So
bishop b5 was a really nice opportunity.
Yeah, it was a nice opportunity there. Here, let's see what happened.
Next.
Yeah, White went for the gambit approach.
Let's see, what did I has carrot? I just disappeared.
Oh, sorry. How is this game coming along? Not good. Black has been in control for a while and seems to still be in control. Let's see what Zero Hero is doing. So
oh, the Melania.
Bishop
I know
b4,
it's not even the Melania.
without the capture, so shouldn't be a very good idea, because now White can play c3, and here either, you know, I would say winning the pawn immediately, or I like what what White has done, playing d5, and now Black, sort of a fancy move because you can't take this way, but
let's not say it in case they're watching.
Oh, of course.
I think it's the live
yeah,
position.
I forgot.
Yeah, I think that's what you were gonna say.
Yeah, knight takes c5. We actually have a variation similar to this in the course when Black goes for an early knight d4, and we recommend the capture. And what we recommend here in a similar position is exactly this: knight takes f7, burn the knight against this pawn, which, you know, not only picks up another pawn, but it damages Black's kingside, and now queen takes. And the one trick there that White needed to avoid here is knight takes e4, because queen takes e4 and rook e8. Typical idea when the king is in the center of the board, but White has stopped this. So excellent play so far by Zero Hero.
Truth was asking, was knight c4 good here instead of the sack?
Knight c4 in this position, yes, that would have been even better. Truth, can we get a ban on Truth? You know, in this position here, knight c4 would have been extremely strong, hitting the bishop and hitting the knight. Okay, so White is doing very well here, but have to admit, Black has a little bit of pressure here, so I like what White is doing. Just get out of the way.
That's another one of the things that I've said so many times while recording this course. Very often the dark squared bishop is Black's best piece, and a lot of lines, well, here our dark squared bishop is gone, but very often it's a main idea to exchange dark squared bishops to get rid of that strong black piece.
Yeah. An interesting choice there from White to capture back with the e-pawn. I like it though, because now you maybe have this square, you have the bishop running.
Yeah, I like it as well. Okay, let's move on from here. Let's see, who haven't we seen yet? Maybe Doc Holliday. Doc Holliday I always feel is one of the most... Oh, but it was another Scotch Gambit. Let's see, I has carrot. How has he handled? Oh! f6, we talk about this actually.
We do. We say it's not a good idea because it weakens this whole diagonal. I believe we recommend bishop to c4 here, keeping the tension. And the reason why is because after, say, d takes e5, if Black had played f takes e5, that f6 square is suddenly available. So to make it harder for them to develop, it's nice not to capture. Now, having said that, this is a position where White missed a nice tactic.
Queen h5 check.
Yeah, queen h5 here, check, and when Black blocks, queen takes e5 with a nice double attack there. Now they did go for it on the next move, but Black was able to defend the pawn. Queen f3, White is...
I has carrot is saying, yeah, I'm tired. You can see here our comments as we go along.
No, but okay, White is absolutely crushing in this game so far. Knight takes c7. This is aggressive stuff. Now, does it work? I won't make any comments from now on because
very
it's
exciting. Let's stay here for a minute.
Is live. Yeah, but I think that no. Again, I shouldn't say. I'm not gonna make any comments on the evaluation of on what I think is the evaluation.
By the way, I has carrot is saying, played the 7th round of the Dutch Open today. My mind is mush. I hope the tournament is going well for you. I don't know if you're in Amsterdam, but Alex and I will be in Amsterdam soon, and we'll be playing a tournament there at the end of the month. It's kind of an invitational bits tournament, but if you're in Amsterdam or around, feel free to drop by. It's a fun tournament. It takes place on 26, 27 August in Café Laurierboom, one of Amsterdam prime chess cafes.
Yeah, really fun. Quite a strong event as well. Usually, if you
I was one of
grandmasters
the
show
last
up.
seats last time we were there. My brows. Thank you, Mikey. Appreciate it. So, what's the material count quickly here? It's 2
about
pawns.
even. It's about even. White has a rook and 2 pawns for 2 minor pieces. But Black's king is quite weak, and White is going rook d1.
Yeah, I would much rather be white here, I have to say. But let's see. So the time control, what did I make it? 3+2. By the way, usually the arena is always rated, but I thought a themed arena, I won't make that rated. So if you're still on the fence, remember we're just 10 minutes in. You can join at any moment. Shall we leave? I has carrot to it. He'll let us know in the chat how it went. But I like his position. And let's see, who haven't we seen yet? Is this still the same game? It is, yeah?
And wait a second, but Mole has turned it around.
Yes.
You know, that's the Scotch for you, you know? Even if the position
and this is
doesn't...
winning, yeah? I guess.
I think so.
So maybe we
well,
can't
I can't say no.
Yeah. Eccentric Horus, good to see you here.
You know, Black is trying to prevent, of course, White's king from running to any of the adjacent squares, since otherwise the pawn will promote. But now after this check, Black's king steps out to e6, and White is indicating that that they want to promote, and they go ahead and do so because
yeah, very nice technique by MMX Mole. That was one hell of a long first game.
Yeah.
But MMX Mole got the job done.
Turned it around.
In the end, what
Nice.
a game. So we're up to, what, 15 players. Let's see Linux. So Linux... Did I not? So Linux here with the white pieces.
Goes for this exchange on c6.
I'll let you take over.
Defends the pawn. Sometimes when they play like queen e2, they want to develop the knight and the bishop, and queenside castle. That's a theme in a lot of the variations where we're going for that queenside castle. Now they capture on b6. I'm not so sure about immediately capturing, because after a takes b6,
The structure.
Yeah, it's improved for Black. So I would have kept attention. White goes a3, trying to shut things down. And now knight to c3. And Black, I like what Black is doing, just challenging in the center. White grabs space, but have to be very careful with this pawn now, because there are threats like knight takes e5, queen takes e5, and rook e8. This is actually a recurring theme, something we see a bunch. You know, you have to be a little bit careful. White would love if the pawn was here to just be able to start supporting, but here they're in a little bit of trouble. They look for that, but knight takes e5, nice play from Black, it has to be said, here, and castle. But bishop a6, brilliant play from Black, I have to say. I mean,
Yeah,
just
very, very impressive.
very, yeah, just great.
Truth is saying Black is scoring 80% in this arena. Is this actually true? It's just bad luck.
This is some kind of group troll, right, operation, you know.
Actually, he means well. More people need to buy the chorus so that White scores better.
Yeah, but I mean, speaking of scoring, actually, the Scotch is one of the best scoring openings in at the non-grandmaster level. So that was one of the things also that kind of motivated us to work on this course. I actually really like. I'm a 1d4 player primarily. I used to be a 1e4 player. I've played the Scotch, but not many times in tournament play. But honestly, I think that you know, I'd like to sort of rebuild a 1e4 repertoire, and for me, the Scotch I think is a really, really good choice. Actually, Magnus Carlsen plays it a lot in online blitz games and stuff like that, and I remember one of the lines that we recommend in the Schmidt one of the things that was kind of cool about it was to see like Magnus regularly playing that line, and a very theoretically prepped player in Penguin Andrew Tang, Penguin GN, kept repeating the same variation, one of the ones that is in the course, and Magnus just kept beating him until eventually he was like, okay, I'm done with this line. Like Magnus, I think he scored 4 or 5-0. It might have something to do with the fact that it's Magnus, but
Maybe.
Primarily I think it's the line that's recommended in the course.
And actually, funnily enough, we recommend we added one of those games to the model game section, even though it's a bullet game. In general, you don't see many bullet games in a model game section of a chessable course, but we thought, it's Magnus. Magnus plays bullet better than most of the people.
I think it's a fair exception. I mean, I'm actually working at the moment on a positional chess course for Chessable, so that'll be kind of the next course more than likely. And
I'm sorry, the truth is triggering me. Like, he keeps misspelling course, and I don't know if he's doing it on purpose. I don't think so.
But with respect to this this positional chess course, basically what happened is that I've been looking through a lot of different games, and one of the things that I did is I downloaded like the database of all the online games that Magnus has played, I think both on Lichess and chess.com over like maybe not lifetime but over a long period of time. So I had like thousands upon thousands of Magnus games, and I wanted to take a bunch of examples from those games, but I also wanted to take examples from my own games played in classical chess. And I'm like looking at Magnus's bullet games, and they're kind of similar in quality, if not greater, like than my own classical games. So it's like, okay, thanks, thanks, Magnus.
Alex, meanwhile, your favorite mod has arrived, Maripan. So good to see you. Also, I has Carrot won his game in the end. Well done. That was that attacking game.
Nice.
And there was another comment, I think.
Hello, Maripant.
Okay, so let's move on from here. This is not looking too great for Linux, but I mean, he was also down almost 1,000 rating points, so we'll forgive you.
He was the underdog.
Where do we go next? What has just started? Let's see. MMX Mole again. Why didn't I open it? What did I do wrong, Alex? No. We can't go there. Okay, Eccentric Chorus has entered the fray.
I like the name.
Eccentric Chorus. I met him in Sharjah, actually.
Oh, really? Okay.
Gave me a lot of chocolate. I think I still have one of those tablets at home, Eccentric Chorus.
Was he eccentric?
No. But here we get a lot of people. So we're, again, in the chorus we recommend knight b3 here, the Potter variation, where the idea is that we are going to castle queen side and then attack along the king side with some f3, g4, h4. This is actually my favorite variation. Now we get to see something a lot more positional here, and again this, I would say, inaccuracy.
Well, I think here it's okay because it's the strong bishop for the knight.
That's
I think
true.
It's a little bit different, but maybe could have held off. I see, but
This is
gets a great
interesting.
position.
Yeah, looking good now for Zero Hero.
And black has just played bishop g6, but that is not. I can understand it because it's the bishop is kind of stuck for squares. But after bishop g6, white took. Now black blocked the check, but in the end we have this endgame where white is up 2 pawns. So so far looking good.
Well, Sam is saying, this is really making me feel how little I know. Sam, you said earlier you've worked your way through 0.0001%. Have you watched anything? Because I feel sometimes it's easy to get overwhelmed when, I know you've played the Scotch before, but when you get a whole new chorus and there's so many variations, I feel that maybe the introduction or the quick starter chapter are a good place to start to just get an overview of the different I think you shouldn't stress, regardless of whether that's Sam or someone else, you shouldn't stress so much about remembering all the lines. And for me, having played, the Scotch was the first opening I learned as an E4 play against E4, E5. And one of the nice things was that I didn't need to rely so much on memorization. I think there are other openings, some lines of the Italian or the Ruy Lopez. There's so much theory. I feel the Scotch, you can rely a lot. Once you've played it a bunch, you understand some of the ideas, you can rely a lot on your understanding and on just understanding where do I want to develop my pieces, what are my plans, and you don't need to be so stressed about things. Like the Scotch is an opening where things are very unlikely to go horribly wrong if you forget a move or you forget a line.
Yeah, and I would add to that the course, we kind of to make it accessible for newer Scotch players, we didn't go for, let's say, the best computer lines at all times. If we could, let's say, play a plan that was similar to another plan that we covered in another chapter, we would do it if it was good, so that way you end up building this bunch of plans in your head that even if you don't remember the exact theory, it's a little bit easier because the plans repeat.
Let's see, I want to find one Potter variation, Alex. Will I manage?
Do it.
I has carrot with white this time. Let's see. I has carrot. What are you up to?
He's in a bit of trouble here, so I'm... Oh, and it is a Potter.
Let's go! Did you say he's in a bit of trouble?
He's in a little bit of trouble. Okay, let's see. Queen E2 was played.
Okay.
B3. Pretty similar to what we recommend.
I think we're back in...
Queen E7 and F3.
This
Very
is
good.
definitely a position
A5,
covered.
Yeah. Bishop takes B6. Great. So this is a common mistake, actually, that Black played. So we speak about exactly this, where oftentimes Black, in the course, the kind of the more challenging approach is for Black to do something like Bishop E6 first to cover the D5 square, and then to go Knight D7 to support the bishop so that they can then attack. And one of the benefits of the Potter variation is we're already ready to attack. Like, we can already start G4, H4, etc. Whereas they have to do things like Bishop E6, Knight D7, and then only start with A5. And when they do A5, we often recommend to put the pawn on A3, because one thing you want to avoid is you want to avoid letting that pawn go all the way to A3. If that happens, your dark squares get weakened, because look at that structure here. You only have one pawn on the dark squares. It's right next to your king, so you want to just make sure that this doesn't get here. However, if they go too quickly, then we can take here, and now we gain this strong outpost. So this is so far perfect play from white. But the only thing is, I would recommend here A3. Just shut that plan down. Now, if they go A4, we move the knight sometimes to D4, sometimes to D2, so that it can reroute to C4. Let's say D4 will be most of the time where we go, and that pawn in the future can actually often get picked off. So this position would be very close to winning for white. Now, white, however, did go this way. Oh, ignore that for now.
Tough luck. I asked Carrot at some point we'll stop watching when things went wrong.
But what's interesting is after Queen D2, A4, knight here, the pawn did get to A3. So that's one thing that crops up time and time again. Don't let that pawn get to A3, because it can create some nasty checkmating kind of patterns. And now knight takes D6 is understandable, though the knight does get a little bit pinned. So here, knight B5, and now the pawn on A2 got lost. But white was able to win this piece. Here, I think knight F5 maybe is strong. No, Queen C7, it gets messy. Bishop takes B5 was played, rook takes. White seems to be okay, but a little bit of a danger zone here with the king. And I think here it was just blundering the rook. And in this position here, black is up in exchange, and we get this position.
Carrot is informing us that he is involved in another Potter variation, so let's check it out. Do you see it? Where is Carrot? There he is. Okay, so let's see this one. And I feel like Luna wanted to say, let's let Luna say hello. She's always a highlight of the stream. Hello, Luna. You want to say hi? A quick break in the regular program for your weekly Luna content.
She's had a terrible attitude all day. just so you guys know.
Today it's been raining all day in Cork, Ireland, so she hasn't gotten her walk yet, and she's patiently waiting for the end of the stream.
Overall, I like that this is actually a kind of a solid position, pretty typical of what you can get if black plays sensibly. But I prefer white's position. I don't want to say too much just because the game is live, but maybe we can say that, you know, white, for instance, has more space.
Yeah.
So I think that's nice. And we can see I has a carrot looking to break on e5 just to sort of open things up for their pieces. Queen goes to e6 because the queen was under fire.
He's also saying, I don't know this exact line, by the way. I mean, the previous game was perfect until, like, I think if he threw in a3, he would have avoided it.
And massively in control.
Yeah.
Massively in control. That position was really, really strong for white because of the good pawn structure.
Truth is asking, does Luna mind the range? She absolutely does not, but we do.
Yeah.
She's been staring us down all day, like... And it hasn't stopped raining.
Does your stream know, like, just how obsessed she is with you?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. She's obsessed.
She needs to be next to me at all times. That's why she's right here, waiting patiently. Okay, so what do we have here? An endgame equal material. It's interesting, right? Because this isolated pawn, the question is always the isolated pawn. Are they a weakness? Are they a strength?
Might be. The timing on that.
But IS Carrot is fighting. Okay.
No, I think
this decision.
Yeah, I like this decision.
Okay, shall we move on from here? I feel like we are jinxing IS Carrot. Let's see Linux again. Oh, this game is over. Okay, MMX Mole, is it another Scotch Gambit again? No! Oh, and now we get to this line. We haven't talked about this before.
Yeah, this is actually a super common way. It's one of the best.
And yeah, I Has a Carrot was down a lot of rating and was fighting really, really well against his opponent.
This is the line I always see, says Sam. And that's exactly it, right? Generally speaking, like, this is literally the most popular line at the sort of non-professional level, let's say online. If you look at the games, in general, if you're talking about, you know, average rating of, you know, anywhere from 800-900 in rating up to about 1700-1800, this is the line that you're going to see most often. And it's one of the main reasons, I think, to want to play the Scotch, because you just don't get this in the Italian or in the Ruy Lopez, that as early as you know, the third or fourth move, black is already usually it's the fourth move. Sometimes they take on the third, sometimes on the fourth, and white gets this position where the queen is actually really, really well placed here, because usually the knight can target the queen, but because that knight is off the board, now the white queen is fantastically placed here and makes it difficult for black to finish their development. So here, b6, bishop c4. I like this. Queen d5 already threatening to win. Let's see what black did. Bishop b7 and bishop d5. I would probably say just normal development here would be quite nice. But white goes for this exchange, and I kind of like what they're doing. E takes d5, grabbing space, opening up the e file, and really black is in some trouble here because they're struggling to develop. They have to go now, say knight f6. Bishop g5. But for example, just a nice variation here, which would be funny, is this move, bishop h6. Yeah. And the point is, black were stopping them from going bishop e7, and maybe, actually no, this is too much. Maybe I'm just gonna. I was thinking that after rook check here, if bishop e7, there's queen takes f6.
But then king d7.
King d7. It'd be nice to be able to play this. Unfortunately, this is blocked. But can I be stubborn and sort of say this position is still really interesting? If the king goes here, you just give a check.
Yeah, that's interesting.
King goes to b8. Maybe you start to step the knight away, and you're only down one piece. So. Okay.
Great advertising. By the way, hello PMD was wondering, is this advertising? Absolutely yes, because it's only a day and a bit left until the introduction offer runs out. Remember, you can buy the course, check it out for 30 days. You can get your money back if you're not happy with the lines, if you're not happy with the course. So if you're going to get it, or if you consider getting it and you want to check it out and make up your mind, you should really do so during the next day. And I mean, what was it? Let's see. How do I...
What are you looking for?
I don't know. I'm trying to do something, but I'm not very good at this stuff, Alex. I'm trying to get back to the main course, but I only know how to do it this way. I wanted to see the introduction offer. When does it run out? But I couldn't.
I'm not sure that they tell you. Did they tell you?
Well, they tell you if you're not logged in.
Really?
Yeah, because earlier before we logged in on my account, we saw it. It was 1 hour.
Okay.
Anyway, it doesn't matter because they will not see the incognito tab. But
no, but we can tell them. This will be a problem, right?
Yeah, I think. Oh, maybe not. So you have 1 day and 13 hours
Where
left.
does it say that? I must be blind. I don't. Oh, yeah, pretty blind. 1 day and 13 hours and 9 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, back to this game. What happened here?
Yeah, I think this might be another
Scotch Gambit.
Another gambit.
Away we go from here. I'll let you pick a game. John splashed out on the videos as well. I'm really happy to hear that, John. And let me know what you make of the videos. It's my first time recording a solo course. I had done one course with you on the Caro-Kann for Ginger GM and one fundamentals course with the Ginger GM himself. But this is my first time flying solo, so I hope you enjoy the videos, but I also would be happy for a brutally honest feedback. You splashed? It was like 9 or 10 days from when the course was launched. I don't think so, John. I think you were one of the very first to purchase it because the course only launched 8 days ago. It launched. Today is Tuesday, right?
And did you catch Jenny's comment?
Johnny! Where is Johnny? Johnny, I missed you there. Where is Johnny? It's really nice course. I don't have video of it. Thank you, Johnny. Johnny, I was actually there when he purchased it. I did a celebration stream in Corsica when the course came out and I raided Johnny and he was having some red cherry vodka or something that he got in Paris and he just insta bought the course as soon as we rated. So thank you for that, Johnny, and happy to hear you've been enjoying it. Thank you. Okay. Oh, the disc. Oh, yeah. That is correct, John. Yeah, I think you were one of the very first. So what's going on in this endgame?
White is in some trouble, and the theme of the tournament so far. But I will say that here, it's a good kind of moment to comment that in this position in the course, here White saw the pressure against the pawn on f2, which is a very common idea when in the classical Black sets up that bishop on this diagonal. But what we recommend is to step the queen to e2. And in these positions, now we're defending, we're not allowing the queens to get traded, and we've also got knight d5 ideas coming in, which will hit the queen and the bishop. Black usually stops that with a move like knight e7, and then we will just go ahead and develop, and you get a position like this, let's say castle. And eventually these pawns, when they run up the board, the queen on f6 is a little bit vulnerable. In this game, White goes queen f3, which gives Black an easier time of it, because not only are the queens off the board, but now White's pawn structure is a little bit damaged. It's an okay way to play, but it's more positional in nature. And here, I think White got...
that's one of the fun things about this Potter line is that you can get this... I'm not just saying, okay, I always say it's fun to get an attacking position, but I think especially so here, because very often Black, if they get counterplay at all, their counterplay will be very slow. So I really feel that this Potter variation, if you spend just a little bit of time familiarizing yourself with the main ideas, because that's one of the things I like about the Potter variation as well, is that the ideas are very often the same. If black hits us with a5, we take one time out, and then we always do the same thing: king b1, f3, g4, h4, and let's go.
Yeah, and I think this is sort of what you're speaking about, that it's not so much about, to Sam, that it's not so much about remembering the exact move orders, but just certain ideas. Like, for example, you don't have to remember so much, you know, does the queen go out first before the knight? In the course we talk about how this is a little more precise, but it's not such a big deal. But more so, you know, we're defending here, we're not swapping the queens would be one important idea. And then in these positions, what we've seen in this tournament is white often capturing the bishop quickly. Whereas most of the time it's good to keep that tension, because what we don't want is the semi-open a file. Now here it's not such a big deal if white plays a move like a3, but we see that white actually left the pawn on a2 undefended and ended up losing it. So it's just these typical ideas that we're seeing.
Let's see it till the end, because I has Carrot says it's hilarious that we finally see him win a game, but as black. So.
Oh yeah, that's true. I didn't actually realize it was as a carrot. So yeah, black seems to have played a very good game here, just punishing the mistakes on the queen side.
Either you lose or you learn. In this game, eccentric horse. It was the latter.
Ah, yes.
I like Talisker. Where is he, Scotch? Actually, we're out of Scotch.
I really like Talisker as well.
Me too. I've only ever been to one whiskey distillery in my life, and it was the Talisker one.
Maybe we should go after the stream and buy a Scotch.
A Talisker.
Buy a bottle of Scotch. I mean, it makes sense, no?
It does make sense.
I think I'm serious, by the way.
Yeah, I know you are.
If you're serious, I'm serious.
We should really have done it before the chorus, but oh well, live and learn.
Before the stream, you mean?
Yeah, to have it on the stream.
Yeah, but I mean, are we promoting some kind of...
Yeah, what kind of Scotch are we promoting? Truth is informing us black is up to 83%. People really need to buy the chorus. This can't go on. Let's see, is there someone we haven't seen
Either
yet?
this or Truth is like paying in like
Gets in this
Twitch subs or whatever, you know. Keep throwing the games, like the Truth just coming up with
Let's
the
take one time out
troll.
to see the standings. So MRX Mole currently in the lead on a perfect 6 out of 6. But they've been playing the Scotch Gambit mostly. Let's see on the black side. How is MM Mole dealing with it from the... Oh, Alex, we haven't seen this one before.
Queen h4. This is the Steinitz variation, and here it gets really interesting. What we do is we'll defend the pawn, and black says no, I want to take that pawn anyway. And what's interesting is that it's best to actually just let them capture it, and we put pressure here on the pawn on c7. So for example, one way that black could quickly lose is if they take this pawn and we take here, and then black sometimes thinks, okay, it's okay to take that pawn because now we're hitting two pieces, but we've got bishop f3, not only defending the rook but hitting the queen. And on the next move we're winning here, winning the game by taking the rook. So that's one way in which the game can often go wrong. But usually black, I think, in the main line goes bishop takes c3, b takes c3, and we castle. We get this position, we're down a pawn, we have a worse pawn structure, but it turns out that black has to be extremely careful. I mean, sometimes black usually goes a6, but sometimes they play d6, and some of the lines that we look at involve moves like rook e1, stepping the bishop out, and then even going bishop a3 and or bishop f4 and sacrificing here on d6 and just the whole position falling apart. White instead went knight takes c6 though, and this does allow queen takes and b takes, so I think this is a good result here for black. You wanted to...
Yeah, no, I think this has gone wrong. I has Carrot actually was mentioning earlier that he has won a game in this Dutch Open in 8 moves in the Scotch. I has Carrot, after the arena is over in 20 minutes, you can type the game in the chat and we can have a quick look.
Yeah, if you'd like.
I'll be back in 2 seconds, Alex.
Yep, go for it.
I'll let you be in charge. Luna, you stay here.
Luna, I don't know if you guys can see, but Luna is always very worried whenever... Let's see, maybe you guys can see. Whenever it's... You can see the look of concern on her face because Fiona has left. Luna? Luna? She's old these days. So she's kind of losing the plot a little bit. She gets up in these situations. Okay, let's go back to the games and let's see what other games are running. We can look at, so these games are finished, right? I think. So let's go ahead and see what happened in this particular game here. E takes d4. Okay, bishop b5 was played. A little bit of a different approach. Another gambit line. Let's see what was played in this game. Knight takes d4, bishop. So this was the Potter by Kajo, and bishop d3 and bishop g5. Just developing. Oh, Black won again. This is. I wonder what Truth will say about the stats, where things are going. Eccentric Horse is joining in the assault on the Scotch. He said, "Dear God, I won both my games with Black against 2,000 plus opponents. This opening is really not that great."
Yeah, Luna is thinking, what? I think after the stream, maybe you go and get the Talisker and I walk her.
Sounds like a good
plan,
deal. Okay.
How did the Steinitz? We saw it, yeah, it didn't go so well for White.
No, because of knight takes c6. And okay, let's see what happened here. Knight takes c6.
Did you change the camera? You did, yeah?
Oh, I did actually. Sorry, yeah, you can go ahead and fix that. I need to go for a minute as well. I need to top up some water.
Okay, so let's see. So a lot of people I notice against the classical I taking here on c6, which is fine, but I really, really enjoy this Potter variation. Can you hear Luna's little pause actually? So who are we watching here? Alpha against Zero Hero. Again, I mean, Truth, what are the statistics like right now? I'm really... Whenever I check a new game, Black is just doing really, really well. Let's see, I has Carrot again. Oh, he was hit with another... What is this called, actually? Is it gonna... The Goering Gambit, that's the one. Okay, so this, of course, is not the chorus. There's, this is a Scotch chorus. We're not touching the Scotch Gambit, which I have dabbled with as well. By the way, 19 players. Can we get to 20? Let's make it 20. Goering is very scary to accept. To be honest, as Black, I'm quite scared. US Chess, thank you so much for the raid with a party of 45. Welcome, everyone. My name is Fiona Steil-Anthony. I'm here with Alex, who has just gone off for a second. Sam has joined the fray. Oh, Sabina, I didn't realize this was you. Thank you so much, Sabina. So good to see you. Welcome, everyone. We're doing a Scotch-themed arena. If you type !arena in the chat. By the way, where's nothing? Johnny, you need to make a move. You need to make a move. Nisa, hey, good to see you. Thank you so much, Ulon, for the gift sub to Sabina. Sam, easy win for you. See, that's how powerful the Scotch is. That's how powerful the Scotch is. Finally, we get to see it. So let's see. Let's give Johnny another chance. Let's give Johnny another chance when his game pops up. This time he will be on the white side. No! I know, on the black side. Okay, let's give him a chance anyway. We see a Scotch Gambit. Black needs to know a little bit of theory. This is a line I've historically struggled with with black as well. I think knight here is the move. I forgot this is a live game, so I shouldn't be giving away too much. But thanks again to Sabina for the raid. Make sure to both give US Jess a follow, but also Sabina's own channel, which I should do. No, I'm following already. Make sure to give Sabina a follow. And it was so nice to see you drop by here. And Truth is saying, I think most white wins have been various gambits. I think in a way it makes sense. I think in an arena where the average rating is what it is now, gambits are tough, especially if the white player happens to be. I think gambits are a great surprise weapon, but we are looking for a long-term right repertoire when I think the main Scotch is sound. And as I said, I've played both. I've played the main Scotch, played it forever, and I've played the Scotch Gambit for a while. The problem with the Scotch Gambit is, like with most Gambits, it's great as a surprise weapon, but once your opponents know that you're likely to hit them with it, it becomes a little less fun. So we'll leave Johnny to it here. Let's go and see Sam. Don't tell me Sam has withdrawn from the tournament. Where is Sam? Sam. And we're up to 20 players. Sam won his one game. Is he gonna play another? Okay, let's see MMX Mole. Oh, we get another Steinitz. Very interesting. Queen d3. That's not a move that we recommend. So we recommend starting here with knight c3. Later the idea will be to go knight b5, hitting the point on c7. Queen d3 I feel is a move. I don't know actually if that's Jay Waitskin. Good to see you, Jay. Thank you so much. So white here is going for a more positional approach. We see the queens not coming off. Actually, I don't know if black should have swapped queens, because I feel now white is doing well, and maybe MMX Small is in some trouble here. We saw an interesting line. The Steinitz was met by white with queen d3. I said the position got a more positional character here. But I feel that black with the king in the center may be in some trouble.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's very dangerous for black. Really dangerous.
I also see from the time spent that MMX Mole... Come on, white. White needs to score at least a little bit better. Eccentric or saying, chat, why are Gambits doing so well in this arena? Fiona, oh, it's a skill issue.
But the truth says he beat his first ever IM in this line.
In this line?
I don't know if it was this exact
Oh,
line.
this queen d3. Interesting. Very interesting.
The truth is feeling mean today, as he always is, right?
Oh, he didn't play queen d3, but I think he's saying against the Steinitz.
Ah.
His first IM.
But white is crushing here. White is...
Yeah, can
Black king
somebody
is stuck on
still
d8.
catch MMX? MMX currently on 7 out of 7. Let's see, is this going to be...
That was incredible because MMX was in real trouble the first game we saw.
Yeah,
But turned it around.
that is true. What did you play, Truth, out of curiosity? How did you meet queen h4?
Okay, so black is giving up their queen, which white happily takes there. The point was that white here had this just absolutely crushing threat of knight c6 check. So white is
What
really
a
in
demolition
control
by
here.
white.
Yeah.
He played knight b5. Actually, I think Alex will respond tonight or tomorrow to a forum comment asking why against the Steinitz we recommended knight c3 rather than knight b5.
But here it was not knight b5. I think there was another game where it was knight b5.
No, I know.
He played knight b5.
No, I'm saying Truth played knight
okay.
b5.
Yeah, that was a bit
That
of a
was
massacre.
impressive. Okay, let's see. 10 minutes to go. Well, 11 minutes to go in the arena. Johnny as
White
black.
here is also doing well.
Yeah. Johnny, maybe I'll go away from your game. This is looking a bit painful, but big shout out. Can I get a shout out for Johnny in the chat? I'm struggling with this Irish keyboard. Arcodipto has joined the fray. Welcome, Arcodipto.
Mr. Arcodipto.
But he's letting us down with a Scotch Gambit. Wasn't happy one, still much to learn. There's always, that's a problem, Rich. There's always so much. Let's see, eccentric chorus with white. No. Not what we're looking for. Okay, MMX small. Everyone is playing. Next time I have to... But it's tough, yeah? How do I... It's tough to set up.
I guess you can set up from custom position.
Yeah, but then which one? Which
After
position?
knight takes d4. Don't let them not take the pawn on d4. This position here.
You are right. Live and learn. Okay, the Schmidt. Oh, I has a carrot. Over to you, Alex.
But we're looking here. He does go for the Mises variation. We are going for
Celebrated too soon.
different approach. But this is of course one of the main ways to play the Scotch. And also, just because we recommend one particular thing in the course, I think if you're playing an opening for a long time, you, especially as you work your way up the levels, you don't want to be too predictable. So it's always nice. We've been, for example, commenting on the Scotch gambits that White is playing, and sort of joking, oh, you shouldn't be doing this. But actually, if you like to play in gambit fashion, the Scotch is great because you can play. If you know how to play the Scotch without the gambit, then every once in a while you can mix and match and play the gambit.
That's exactly what I said when you were gone. I have played both, and I think in a blitz game for online, I think the Scotch Gambit I've had great success with it. It's just, if you're playing over the board classical chess and your opponents are preparing for you, once they know that you're likely to hit them with the Scotch Gambit, it becomes a lot less fun when they know what to do.
Exactly.
Like with all the gambits.
Yeah. I completely agree. But the Scotch Gambits actually are some of the best scoring gambits. So that's kind of a cool thing.
I also think a lot of the Scotch Gambits, even if they have the label Scotch Gambit, a lot of the lines you just win the pawn back immediately, and it becomes a lot more positional. Yeah,
this is true. White is maybe in a little bit of trouble here with the bishop and the knight stacked up there on the d-file.
The jinx continues. Thank you so much, Sam, by the way, for the shout out to Jenny. Okay, let's see. 8 minutes to go. Linux. That game ended. What did we have here? Okay, we had a Schmidt. What happened here? Interesting. I like that White went sort of for our approach of queenside castling against the Schmidt. Looks a little bit dangerous here because of the semi-open file. But let's see. Yeah, this pawn dropping is a bit of a problem. White has the bishop here, but I feel like this king here on c1 is going to be vulnerable. And even though Linux tried to start an attack,
those dark squares
were too much of an issue. Will I be doing any commentating, interviewing at the World Cup? Great question. I was going to mention this and then I forgot. But I'm starting my commentary on the World Cup tomorrow. I will be commentating on Hikaru's channel starting from tomorrow, and I hope to see you there.
Actually, this is exactly the line that we recommend to take on e5. Knight takes e5, d takes e5, but after d4, I believe we recommend to play c3 or bishop c4 immediately. First bishop c4 should be okay, but I think we recommend c3. And then here bishop b4 check, bishop d2, takes, knight e7 and c3.
Good.
This is still very good, exactly, because it's a pawn up. And here I really like how Johnny's playing, right? Just take the queens, then take on c3, up a clean pawn. And black is in serious trouble also because the pawn on f7 was being hit, so black controlled that, but that's an extra pawn. What I'd love to see is white trying to get like f4 and g3 in, just to really safeguard this pawn. And actually we see that
very nice technique by Johnny.
Johnny goes
who
ahead
has purchased the course, you see. Even if you haven't worked your way through it yet, good things happen.
This is great play. He's playing someone 400 points high rated as well, so completely crushing out of the opening. We'll see what happens. But I love the play here so far, picking up that weakness, that isolated pawn on e6. Just have to be a little bit careful not to lose that rook. But now rook e8, I'd love to see. He goes king b1. Rook e8, I think was
in these,
was
like
powerful.
king b1 is often a good idea, but here there is no danger to your king. There is no danger of a queenside attack. So here the king, remember in the middle game, you want your king to be active. The king is actually well placed in the center. So I think king b1 is a move sort of in the wrong direction, because the king was already where you wanted it. The king in the endgame wants to be a part of the game. It wants to be in the center.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But the one idea of moving the king to b1 is
to
that white does have the c file. Maybe
Johnny.
So I actually like that, especially if we now see, we're not seeing the moves, so we don't know what he plays. But I'd love to see knight b5 check, just going after that outpost. And he does actually go for it. Beautiful play so far, and just stamps the knight there on that outpost. And although the rook looks kind of weird, I mean, maybe Danny's a bit frustrated where I can't move my rook. But it can't be attacked either. Ooh, that's the one move you have to be...
Sorry, Alex. Let's go back.
Yeah, this is the one move that you just had to watch out for, this one tactical idea. Rook e8, there is rook takes d6. Unfortunately, black finding it because the rook was only defended by the knight.
Still, even there, as black, you're never too... But the problem is, the king is active.
Yeah, those light squares. And here, knight c3, you have to be careful about, and black does find it. And then after that, now the rook will pick off the pawn. So unfortunately, a tactical
but it was great play by Johnny
until
until then.
Fantastic. I mean, to get this position here is just a crushing position. Beautiful. And just the one kind of unfortunate thing was that rook being a little bit stuck. Maybe try to crack open the kingside pawn so that you can start moving it. But other than that, but in terms of the opening,
Johnny is saying, I will need to buy a middle game course next. Well, Alex is, might be coming out to the positional chess course, so maybe that will be right for you. Things are close. Let's focus on the games at the top. Blunderfest now, just 2 points.
Funnily enough, on the positional chess course, just to kind of just say one thing about this game, a lot of the kind of ideas are sort of talking about exactly this example that Gianni was able to pull off, to sort of spot this is a strong outpost, and sometimes you have to use tactics for the positional gain, right? And here in this position, for instance, you might talk another positional aspect. You want to improve your pieces. Let's say this rook is stuck, limited for squares. So what's a good idea? Looking for the pawn break in order to open, in order to improve the activity of your pieces. So I actually think this is a great example of the kind of positional play ideas.
Oof. What is happening here? Blunderfest, who is trying to chase MMX for the victory. We have a Scotch Gambit, but it's so... Oof. I has a carrot. I know it's been a long day. This is looking painful, no?
Yeah, this one is looking rough.
Polar Bear! Thank you so much for the 2000 bits. Much appreciated. This is a special Scotch stream. Alex and I just agreed. We will celebrate the night with a bottle of Scotch. So your kind donation will go towards the Scotch fund. And here I think white can win.
It's good to see you, by the way. Long time, Polar Bear. Polar Bear, back when I used to stream, was a regular viewer of the stream. And but haven't seen you in a while because I haven't streamed in a very long time, so it's good to see you.
Oof, I has a carrot. Yeah, this was the move that I was on about. Get some good. Well, with that we will definitely get a good bottle. Thank you so much. Alex will need it as well. He's been struggling on my side. He's been struggling through Ted Lasso. Kind of enjoyed season 1.
Yeah.
But now every episode is a struggle. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are. And what did we have here?
Yeah, Ted Lasso.
This is the line
so
that
what
I
you're
used.
basically saying is I need alcohol to get through Ted Lasso, which is actually a fair point. But I see that you're saying you've been destroying the Caro players in that 92 Breyer. Yeah, it's a good line. It's an incredibly annoying line. I hope also to get back to making some YouTube videos. Like one of the issues, and even on this stream, unfortunately, it's like hitting me already. I probably won't be here for too much longer. If you wish to continue the stream, you can. But I'm one of the problems that I've had, the reason that I'm not doing anything in terms of creating content and stuff like streaming and YouTube, is I've just had a lot of problems with my voice specifically, which is just like health problems relating to my voice, which is just a nightmare when you're teacher, content creator, etc. So I'm not doing like YouTube and streaming because that like as a way to limit how much I tax my voice. It has to do with I don't know, it's like why am I saying this? I don't know, like vocal cord
that you have
like there's some
accent.
issue, like there's an issue with like my vocal cords, and I'm trying to improve it, but is what it is. But if it gets better, I really want to get back to YouTube and still have a bunch of ideas, so we'll see. Blunderfest took it over.
Blunderfest took it.
Damn.
That's really, really impressive. Came out of nowhere. I don't think Blunderfest was there in the beginning.
I think MMX Mole, maybe he lost the last couple of games in a row. And that was, maybe he even lost the Blunderfest. I don't know. Can you check the games? Was there a game between the two of them?
I don't know if I can check.
Was that maybe what happened? No, MMX Mole.
I don't know. Maybe I just have to go to their profiles. But congratulations, Anikite, who's already a Diamond member. So I think in that case it will go to MMX Mole anyway. Let me know. There's also a question from Manish. Do you people still think E4, oof, this is a tough one, Alex, I'll let you feel it. Do you still think 1E4 is best compared to 1D4, C4, or I guess he meant knight f3, even if there is no advantage according to computers?
Honestly, I don't think. I think it's just a question of whatever you like to play the most. The stats are going to be similar, and even even I would say at the regular Grandmaster level, it just doesn't make much of a difference, and maybe even at the Elite Grandmaster level. I mean, these guys swap everything around. It's actually, they realize the power of surprise, the element of surprise is more important, or sometimes what'll make the decision, what will matter more whether you choose E4 or D4 is, you look at your opponent's games, and let's say that you know how to play both. You look at your opponent's games and you realize, hey, the opponent scores way better, seems to be way more comfortable against E4 than against D4. So let me play D4. I think, honestly, just play whatever you enjoy playing the most.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. By the way, Merles, are you Blunderfest? I guess so, because Merles is saying, I did avail my 1 free. So if you are not a regular Diamond membership, the Diamond membership will go to you, and I will also sort out MMX Mole with I never know if after Diamond the next thing is Platinum or Gold, but MMX will also get a membership. Before we go, very quickly, we had promised I has Carrot to take a quick look. At their game, his game. I think we know he's a he. I has Carrot, I always forget, weren't you the one who recommended this great Dutch band, this great song? What are they called again? I Am the Remedy. I think that was I has a Carrot.
Really? You recommended that song?
I think so, back in the day.
Yeah, it's a good song, right?
What were they
Dutch
called
song,
again?
right?
Yeah. Kitty Kitty, that's the one. That is the one. How do I load moves, Alex? Do you know?
Load from PGN. Load just there. Paste it in there.
Yeah.
Boom.
Hey, how can we hide the notation? We can't. Okay. Anyway.
Also, by the way, Polar Bear, just to address your comment, I was actually checking that out before. I thought, yeah, like with the whole AI, like to clone your voice, you import your voice, you clone it, and then you just like write it. But yeah, I don't think the tech is quite there to like sync it perfectly with my video. And what am I even supposed to be doing? Like miming? I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, but we'll figure it out.
I went to Blunderfest's account, and you are right. He beat MMX Small. How can I see the arena again? I forgot to even say congrats to. Can I?
And he beat him with the white pieces. We could still have them.
Truth, do we have the final stats on how the white players did? Goes gold. Okay, so Platinum membership will go to MMX. Congratulations again to Blunderfest, to MMX Small, and to Furev528. Just write the script and get Fiona to read it.
Don't mind us, new voice, you know.
Arcadipto, when will we see Alex on stream again? Well, Alex was just answering that question that unfortunately he hasn't been so active because his voice has been giving him trouble, but hopefully soon. Black 83%, that's insane. Okay, Alex, it's a short one.
It is
a short game. The floor is yours.
Well, we see the Scotch, and when we see a Scotch, we can pretty much assume a white victory is imminent. Queen h4, knight c3, exactly what is recommended in the course. Bishop b4, and now knight b5. This course line, queen takes e4 check, bishop e2, and this is one of the exact tricks in the course that black players sometimes fall for. Basically, we talked about this queen takes g2 being one of the tricks, but we say black has to go king d8 because, like, first they can take if they want, but at some point they have to defend the pawn this way. And like the reason for this is because, for example, let's say you go bishop takes c3, b takes c3, and you defend this way. The problem is white is actually going to kick the queen, and then the pawn cannot be defended, and so you win that way.
Oh, whatever.
You win this way. Now, if on the other hand you play takes, queen takes, then you win this way. But one trick that we did not think of doing, think of showing, is this bishop a5 move.
Today, you mean? We're showing it in the course.
Yeah, in the course we show it. Bishop a5, thinking now I'm defending the pawn, but you can take the pawn anyway, because the point is, if bishop takes c7, then that bishop was pinning the knight, and knight takes queen. So I love this game. Yeah. This is a perfect game.
This is exactly a position from the... Maybe we can find it in the course, actually.
Yeah, this is an exact variation.
It's so funny. Let's see. So where is our Steinitz? You'll know better than me. What was it?
Where is it? The knight c3 is bishop b4. Can I actually just hold on a second? We can probably, which move would make sense? Maybe bishop a5 will show. Can I do that? No, it doesn't show. Our maneuvering on Chessable is not the best.
Okay, I mean the game was only 8 moves, so
yeah, but it's in which chapter would it be contained? It's not here. It's knight c3, knight takes queen. It's not here.
It's with this bishop before.
Will it be here? But because the thing is, it might just be an informational line. It may not be a trainable variation. Bishop b4, bishop e2.
I think that's the one.
This is not it, because this is bishop takes c3. But if I put it here, at c3, this one covers knight takes d4.
We will find it.
I don't know. No, it's not here also. Where is it? Now it would be hilarious. I mean, it's for sure in the course.
No, for sure, 100%.
But it'd be funny if we can't find it. No, because it's not there. Not there.
But are you sure you're checking the lines, yeah?
Well, I mean, I'm not, to be honest. Yeah, it must be written in as a sideline.
It is a sideline.
Okay, here, knight b5. Surely it's in here. This is not it.
No.
But maybe the next page.
We'll find it, guys.
There you go.
Boom.
Black should pick this moment to capture, since if they delay it even one more move, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. We shouldn't say blah blah blah, should we? Bishop a5. Some players think that they can defend the pawn in this way, but in fact the bishop on a5 is tied down to the defense of Black's queen. So knight takes c7, check. Black loses, since bishop takes c7 drops the queen after knight takes e4, and anything else loses the rook on a8. Beautiful.
Beautiful. Well done. I have a carrot.
This is the other one that we spoke about here. Yeah, you were insisting we were gonna find that. Didn't matter how long it took.
So yeah, that is, I think, going to yeah, you can actually, I mean, I, as a carrot said earlier, felt a bit sorry for my opponent. I can relate to that.
But did you play it because of the line after studying the course or before studying the course?
I don't even know if I has a carrot has gotten the course. Scorelli was saying browse tree. That was a good point. Interesting question by Eccentric Course. Do you think Black scoring so well is just a fluke, or do you think this opening is actually hard to play if you don't know your stuff? My feeling is that it's more likely to be a fluke, that it's more likely that Black
there weren't many players.
Was the higher rated.
There also weren't many players.
Yeah.
I don't think it's so much the high rated because, you know, people got paired up white and black, but I think it's more just a small sample size of games. Like 83%, you know, we can see, like, if we look at databases, you can check it out, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to go to, you know, some site like Opening Tree or something like this where you can see. But in general, like, the Scotch actually is like literally the best scoring.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, that it's more likely to be a fluke than anything else. Now, having said that, maybe I will argue one reason why you might get bad results, and that is that it's much more likely that this tournament had a bunch of players who were comfortable playing e5 from the black side than playing the Scotch.
Yeah.
Like, so many people play 1 e4 e5, so they will be used to playing against the Scotch. Whereas if you're just playing a themed tournament, maybe you've never played the Scotch in your life, so there might be a bit of a difference there.
And Blunderfest, who won the arena, is saying it's the opposite in the pool. I have like a more than 60% win rate over 500 games in the Scotch, so I think that's a bigger sample size, so that gives you a better idea, I think, than the statistics.
Yes, and Hessa Carroll had already said this, actually. He said that there was a different course that shares the same line.
So that is it, unless there's any final pressing questions about our course. Remember, there is an introductory offer. You can see it on our screen because we are currently logged in, but you can avail of it until Wednesday morning in Europe, so you have a day and a half roughly. Remember, Chessable have a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can always get it, check it out, and if you don't like it, or if you're not happy with the lines or with the presentation or anything, you will get your money back. And finally, Chess Kid, thank you so much for the wait. I think Mike was there with, I should intro it earlier, Mike and maybe David Bruce. Pass upon the course, thank you so much. Big shout out to Chess Kid. We are coming to the end of our course as well, but we'll be passing on the love for sure. We appreciate it. We were just doing a final plug. We just concluded our Scotch themed arena. Our starting out the Scotch course came out last Monday, 8 days ago, so 2 days left. If you click the link, if you type !Chessable, that will take you to this main page. You will see when the introduction offer expires. If you want, there is also a free short and sweet course which you can check out here. So plenty of stuff to check out. I always feel bad about leaving after a raid, but this is going to be it for us for tonight. If you have any questions about the course or any comments, remember there is a discussion forum here which we have been keeping an eye on. You can ask any questions, any comments you have, you can post them here, or for those of you who are active in the Discord, you can post them there as well, and we'll be getting back to all of them. Baku's, by the way, who I just mentioned, he got our Caro course from Ginger GM. Much appreciated, Baku's. Let us also know your thoughts on that, Truth. We'll be looking forward to your questions, and for now that is going to be it from our side. Let's see, who will we raid? Maybe the chess nerd. We'll raid the chess nerd. And yeah, that is it from our side. Blunderfest, I'll make sure. Thank you so much, Sam, for the gifted sub. To Baku is also Polar Bear. I don't think he's here any longer, but those bits will be invested into a good cause. We'll make sure of that. And thank you so much to everyone who was here. Big shout out to everyone who played in the arena. Congrats again to Blunderfest on winning it. And finally, I will be back in action tomorrow. You'll find me on Hikaru's channel commentating on the World Cup. You'll find me there for pretty much the rest of August. Looking forward to getting started. And yeah, I think that is it. Thank you so much, Jani. Everyone, have a brilliant evening. I'll see you all very soon. And
thanks, everyone. Cheers. Catch you guys in the future.
The chess nerd. Baku is early. It's noon. Oops, sorry. Wrong raid. Or did I just... No, I did.
No, you got it right, I think.
Sam, the World Cup starts noon UK time. So noon tomorrow. Yeah. Just Hawkins. I'm not even gonna ask who that is. Just yes. Apart from Hikaru, who am I rooting for in the World Cup? Question to both of us. David Howell, as suggested by the Truth, of course. Anton Korov. Truth knows me too well. Alex, who are you rooting for?
Oof, I'm invested in so many players, it's hard to know. But I'll go for Nils Cornelius. Come on. You gotta go.
Shout out to our boy Niels.
Yeah. He's been playing great lately, so hopefully he has a deep run in the event. It's hard to win it, but...
It's a very tough event. It's a fun event to watch. All of those big boys, the big dogs, are joining the fray tomorrow, so it'll be fun to watch. Yeah, we meant David Howell and Anton Korbov, but David Anton is also a very nice guy. So yeah, a lot of people to root for. We are off for now. Thank you so much for watching. It's been great fun. If you end up getting the course, let us know what you think. If you already got the course, if you want to just, drop a star rating or eventually write a review, we would much appreciate that. And
yeah, okay, so that's it.